Good evening. My name is Luke Stilson, Director of Athletic Communications. Tonight, we celebrate the outstanding accomplishments of our former student athletes who have gained entry into the Hall of Athletic Honor. Since 1978, when 29 athletes were elected, the Hall has recognized the greatest sports figures in Gettysburg's long athletics history. And tonight, the total number of inductees reaches 269 with the addition of this year's new class. It is my great pleasure to introduce those 21 members in attendance with us this evening, beginning with our newest class. Henry Schwartz, class of 1942, represented by Robert Schwartz, class of 1992. Julika Blankenship, class of 2004. Donna Bork, class of 1992. Jessica Cortez, class of 2005. Tim DeMore, class of 1995. Stephen Jurgel, class of 1980. Jason Vicio, class of 2000. Chris Pryor, class of 2000. Kelly Geese, class of 1995. Kim Kelly, class of 1992, former head volleyball coach. Brian Barr, class of 1986. Susan Federoff Hamilton, class of 1981. Jeffrey Cuddlebeck, class of 1980. Craig Swanson, class of 1980. David Boynton, class of 1979. William Getting, class of 1979. James Martino, class of 1978. Kirby Scott, class of 1977. Gareth Lefty Beiser, class of 1957, former head athletic trainer. Joe Denali, former head athletic trainer, head men's lacrosse coach. Barry Streeter, former head football coach. Let's have more round of applause for this group. I'll get you.
Somewhere in there. Thank you.
How are you? Good to see you.
Thank you, Luke.
Yes.
Have a good night. Enjoy it.
We missed one other former inductee in attendance, Bob Lewis, class of 1986. At this time, I'd like to introduce Executive Director of Intercollegiate Athletics and Campus Recreation, Mike Mattia, to the stage for a few words.
Thank you, Luke. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 2023 Hall of Athletic Honor celebration. It's good to see all of those in the Hall of Honor who have returned to welcome the next class in this illustrious group. I want to start off by congratulating our inductees and thank you and your families, friends, and former teammates and coaches for being with us tonight. Our Hall of Athletic Honor ceremony is one of my favorite events we put on each year, and I want to thank the Orange and Blue Club for organizing this evening together. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to make this event run smoothly, And I especially want to thank Jan Shera and Nick Poehler for their tireless effort for making this a great night. I also want to thank Luke Stilson and Olivia Moyer from our communications office. They are the ones responsible for the videos you will soon see and for collecting and organizing all the information on each inductee. Tonight, we will commemorate the remarkable achievements of 7 individuals. These inductees represent 7 different athletic programs that touch 4 different decades, one of which from over 80 years ago. This impressive group set the standard for success in their respective sports and left an indelible mark on Gettysburg College with their commitment to excellence, dedication to their sport, and unwavering perseverance during their time as student athletes at Gettysburg. They were team captains, became conference champions, NCAA tournament participants, Player of the Year award winners, all-conference, all-region, all-American recipients, and career record holders, with a few of those records still standing today. We are all very proud of these accomplishments and hope they can inspire our current and future Gettysburg student athletes to carry on that tradition of success. Beyond these individual accomplishments, these inductees were great teammates, and those lasting bonds that were formed have more meaning than any personal triumph achieved. That is why we have so many former student athletes and coaches who donned the orange and blue, helping us celebrate tonight. This evening gives us the opportunity to pay tribute to 7 special Gettysburgians, as well as connect with friends, share our memories, and reflect on how great it is to be a Bullet. Thanks again for joining us in celebrating this wonderful occasion. We are in for a fantastic evening. Now I'd like to introduce the 15th president of Gettysburg College, Bob Giuliano.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. There we go. We got to get in the right mood for tonight. Welcome. Thank you, Mike, and welcome everyone for this really special evening when we have the opportunity to honor people and their significant accomplishments here. It is certainly a special night for the college, for all of our former student athletes who are here today and whose legacies continue to endure here and across the campus in the memories of our Bullets faithful. Our extraordinary group of inductees this year include alumni from the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and yes, even the class of 1942. A posthumous, A posthumous honor delivered more than 80 years after Henry Swartz's graduation day, and so well deserved. I'd like to begin by offering a hearty congratulations to this impressive group of inductees and their devoted families and teammates here with us tonight. As Mike said, this is a class that not only excelled in their athletic endeavors, but have remained steadfast in their commitment to Gettysburg College and our athletic programs in their postgraduate lives. Again, we are so pleased to honor them. Congratulations to our inductees. And as Mike said as well, our 7 inductees will now join an exclusive group of more than 250 Hall of Honor members, composed of former student athletes, coaches, and former staff members at Gettysburg. And as you saw tonight, we are so pleased that so many of them could travel today to join us and be part of tonight's celebration. Again, if our past inductees would stand and wave so we can again acknowledge you all. As many of you may have heard, this past winter, Gettysburg College adopted a new strategic plan, which outlines our ambitious vision for the future. A central part of this vision is supporting what we are calling the Gettysburg approach. And this approach has 2 main goals. The first will certainly be familiar with all of you, and it is to ensure that every single Gettysburg student graduates with a breadth and depth of knowledge. And we'll achieve this, of course, through steps that you all are familiar with, and that is the rigorous education in the liberal arts and sciences that we provide to our students, something each and every one of you experienced while you were here. We want to produce graduates who can see across disciplines and around corners. That preparation makes for some challenging courses, and coursework over the course of our students' 4 years here. And I had some conversations suggesting at times you all might have found the coursework a little bit challenging, but it's exactly what we want in our students. We want our students to work hard, like their efforts on the field. It builds within them an inner strength and a resilience to press forward, and that they will carry with them throughout their entire lives and career. This brings me to our second goal of the Gettysburg approach, which is to help our students develop and deepen the enduring skills most valued by employers and graduate schools. Skills that are hardest to teach, but that will position our students to thrive in all that they do. Skills like adaptability, communication, creativity, intercultural fluency, leadership, problem solving, and teamwork. When I consider our inductees here tonight, and so many of you in this room, these are precisely the skills that you applied in your careers to tremendous success. In large part, I hope, because the Gettysburg Athletics is an incubator for creating these enduring skills. Many coaches here tonight, it is their belief in our students to do great work that in turn inspires our students to do that great work. Serves as an incredible model that we want to build upon as a college. We want every student here on this campus to gain those enduring skills through all that they pursue here, whether it's in the classroom or the laboratory, through athletics, arts, drama, music, and so many other co-curricular and extracurricular activities. You all have given us the blueprint for this vision. How can you help bring it to life? You're here tonight because you care about the college, our athletic program, and our student athletes. Help us to cultivate these enduring skills within today's Gettysburgians by getting yet further engaged. Welcome students to your workplace by providing a job shadowing opportunity. Provide access to real-world experiences by offering an internship or an externship. Organize an on-campus or virtual networking event. Give our students a first-hand glimpse into a potential career path and the enduring skills that you gained here that helped shape your post-Gettysburg life. It all makes a difference. It all matters. Lastly, support our Orange and Blue Club by making a gift. It can truly elevate our teams and our athletic program in remarkable ways. Wheaties and Marsha Parker have embodied this. They recently provided the college with a gift of $500,000 to establish an endowed fund for men's basketball that will have a ripple effect for generations of student athletes to come. Wheaties himself is a 1980 inductee into our Hall of Athletic Honor, so he knows what it takes to reach an ambitious goal, and he has stepped forward to help us achieve it. You can help too in your own way. So I'd ask that you consider following the lead of Wheaties and Marsha by donating to the Musselman Stadium Lights Project, our O&B Teams Challenge, or other creative ways to help our athletics program reach the heights we know we're capable of across all sports. Let me close. This college is better for what happens on the playing fields every day, every weekend, and the coaches and players who don the orange and blue. You all will always be a part of that. Again, I would like to thank each and every one of you for joining us here tonight. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And one more time, please join me in the heartiest expression of congratulations to our inductees. Thank you all.
At this time, I'd like to welcome Hank Janzik, head men's lacrosse coach from 1988 to 2021, to the stage for the invocation just before dinner this evening. After the invocation, you'll be dismissed by table to enjoy our buffet.
All right. Great to see all of you. Many of you who've had gotten more than your share of pocket dials from me over the years, and I just want to apologize as I've seen all of you do that today. Let's bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, I ask your blessing on Gettysburg College, the entire athletic program and staff, and the many who have done so much to make this evening possible. I also pray for the honorees, their families, and their friends, especially those who are no longer with us, but their memory is so dear to our hearts. May this be a very special night. And finally, bless, O Lord, in these thy gifts that we are about to receive from your bounty of Christ our Lord. Amen.
Now that everybody's had a wonderful meal, let's give a round of applause to our catering staff for that fine meal. So with that said, everybody can sit back, enjoy the rest of the evening, and the real reason we're here tonight. Well, it's time to begin the formal induction of our 7 newest members into the Hall of Athletic Honor. More than 80 years ago, our first inductee set a standard on the wrestling mat that would be hard to match. So many have chased that greatness since, and I suspect that pursuit will continue for years to come. But it wasn't just a stellar wrestling career that made this individual a special member of the Gettysburg Athletic Department. However, just one loss over the entirety of a career definitely didn't hurt. Let's hear more about Henry Schwartz and what earns him this spot in the Hall of Athletic Honor.
Henry Hank Schwartz came to Gettysburg College in 1938 and set an early standard for the Gettysburg wrestling program that was still in its infancy of collegiate competition. A standout in the 136-pound weight class, Schwartz was a letter winner all 4 seasons and won the Middle Atlantic Conference Division Championship twice in back-to-back years, 1941 and 1942. During his senior year, he served as team captain and was named the MAC Most Outstanding Wrestler across all weight classes. Schwartz lost just once during the entirety of his Gettysburg career and led the team to a 16-8-1 dual meet record. The 1941 and 1942 wrestling teams finished as runners-up in the MAC championships. In 2013, he was named to the MAC All-Century team. Outside of the wrestling room, Schwartz supported Gettysburg athletics as a whole, serving as the baseball team manager all 4 years. He also acted as head cheerleader for the football team during his senior year. Schwartz was a true Gettysburgian, starting a legacy at the college that includes his wife, son, daughter, grandson, and great-niece. Schwartz graduated from Gettysburg in 1942 with a degree in economics. He served as Chief Financial Officer of Penn Insurance for over 25 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Robert Schwartz, class of 1992, to the podium to accept this posthumous honor on his grandfather's behalf.
They don't build these for me. Before I get started, I just want to thank Wheaties and Marcia again. That is an incredible legacy for this college, and I want to point that out. This is a tough town in which to give a short speech. I'll be here all night, folks. 5 minutes. Anyway, good evening, and a huge, you're going to hear some of this again, so settle in. Good evening, and a huge thank you to President Uliano, the Orange and Blue Club, the members of the selection committee, the other remarkable honorees, and my fellow alumni. My name is Robert Schwartz, and tonight I'm the storyteller from my grandfather, the late Henry Schwartz, class of 1942. For those few of you who met Hank in person, I face a daunting task because he was the single best storyteller I have ever met. So this is going to pale by comparison. In the fall of 1938, against the backdrop of the worst economic crisis in this country's history, and while fascism infected his grandparents' homeland, Henry Otto Schwartz, his actual name, son of a steelworker and a homemaker, left Natrona Heights, Pennsylvania, population 6,800, to be the first of his family to attend college. It was a moment that was not lost on him. He once told me, going to Gettysburg at that moment felt very lonely. But as so many of the honorees tonight, I suspect, will tell us, sports offers us community and connection, purpose and focus, a new family and a new mission, even if the journey to those things is uneven. And so it was for Hank as he arrived to meet the legendary coach, Hen Bream, who would go on to become a lifelong friend. Coach Bream welcomed Hank to the first day of football practice with something most Schwartzes have heard before. You are too small to play football. To his credit, Coach Bream had heard of Hank's athleticism and sent him immediately to see the head wrestling coach, Pete Beeson. And what happened from there is magic. I don't need to report what was already in the video, but I'll skim. With Hank in the wrestling fold, the Gettysburg Mat Men would take off, and he would win the MAC University Division 136-pound title in 41 and 42. And he'd be named the most outstanding MAC wrestler in any weight class in 1942. At the time, and it's hard to appreciate, that was a thing. That was a real thing. But perhaps most importantly, and most proudly for him, as he would tell you, Hank would only lose once in his entire career, and only then, while suffering from a staph infection on his arm so advanced that he wrestled with them wrapped in gauze and tape, which is both amazing and gross. During his 4 years here, as you saw, and the Nick and the gang with the archives are incredible. That cheerleading photo, oh, I wish he were here. Hank would participate in many other parts of campus life. Baseball manager, head football cheerleader, Dean's List member, which I also didn't know. I don't think his son knew either. Phi Sigma Kappa brother. But Hank's Gettysburg story, like so many people in this room, was a love story. And just outside of Old Dorm, he would meet the great love of his life, Helen. And from that point forward, for almost 50 years, they would be a single entity, Hank and Helen. Or if you asked Helen, Helen and Hank. They would graduate in the spring of 1942 to a world fully at war, and Hank would be assigned to serve his country as a C-46 commando pilot trainer at Homestead Army Airfield in Florida. After the war, Hank and Helen would go on to raise 3 children, my fellow Fiji brother Tom, class of 67, whose wife Evelyn is here tonight, Susan, my aunt, class of 1973, and Bob, who somehow went to Maryland but is also with us here tonight. I also would like to point out my sister Jessica and my wife Lisa, and my son Henry. If we had named you like Fred, this would be easier. He would take his economics degree and have a successful career in finance. That is not what I do. It's cliche to the point of absurdity, and I suspect my old English professors would not be pleased that I would use it. But to know Hank was to love him. He was larger than life, and almost inevitably the life of any party I have ever been at with him. And I have never met anyone who knew more jokes than my grandfather, and he would revel in having an audience to share them. He knew how to work hard and have fun in his relationships. His social structure was broad and wide and connected, and he believed in the power of stories. He believed in the magic of a warm and open heart and the life-saving possibilities of a Beefeater martini. He was what so many of us here seated tonight are, Gettysburgian to our core. And when it came time for me to make my own college decision, he wisely counseled me that as far as he was concerned, I could go anywhere I wanted, with a single exception. You cannot go to F&M. When in doubt with a speech, pander. And for once with Hank, that wasn't a joke. Hank would have loved tonight. All these tables of people to meet and to hold court, and I assure you they would have kicked him out of here at like 11. All the details of your lives that he would have loved. Details of consequential Gettysburg lives. He would have loved it. I love you, pup. Thanks for gracing us with your humor and your talent, your optimism, your love. It took us a bit, but we got you right back where you belong, back home. Thanks so much.
When our next inductee arrived, the women's lacrosse team had won just its first Centennial Conference title. That number quadrupled by the time she left. The still standing record holder for assists and points, at least for now, did it all for her team, including singing the national anthem before games. Let's hear more about what Julica Blankenship did on the field and why she is deserving of her spot in the Hall of Athletic Honor.
A member of a lacrosse-loving family, Julica Blankenship began her Gettysburg lacrosse career in 2001, and her joy and talent for the sport quickly made an impact on the women's lacrosse program. Her tenacity and ability to build others up made her a huge factor in Gettysburg women's lacrosse receiving its first national rankings during her tenure.
We knew right away when she came to visit Gettysburg that this girl was just a lacrosse junkie. And when you love something so much, it allows you to play with much more freedom and much more joy. And as a result, then you try different things. Her creativity, her ability to change the direction in which she dodged to the cage, her ability to find the open player, the way in which she worked with others. And she didn't stay in sameness. She was always evolving and just played with just so much freedom that allowed her to really try and experiment with new things.
Blankenship's athletic accomplishments stand out 19 years after her graduation. She still tops the program record boards in both points with 309 and assists with 160. Blankenship was also a 2-time All-American and All-Region selection and a 3-time All-Centennial Conference honoree. Her senior season, she was named the conference's Player of the Year and served as team captain. With 121 points as a junior and 112 as a senior, Blankenship was the first player in program history with back-to-back 100-point seasons. She was tabbed the Women'sLacrosse.com Athlete of the Year in 2004. She dots the leaderboard in other categories, including claiming both second and third place in single-season assists.
Certainly her talent and her success and her records, many of which are still held today, speak for themselves. But I'm thinking of 3 qualities that really set her apart about how she played and the impact that she has had on this program. Number 1, Julica is just incredibly creative. She maintains that creative spirit. She's a doer. She loves to take challenges and take risks. So she also played with just such creativity. Number 2, I believe Julica has just this unbelievable passion. She freaking loved lacrosse. She had such love for the game, such a passion for people, and a passion for Gettysburg College. She just screams orange and blue. And the third quality is just her love. You could see the joy at which she played. You could see the love that she demonstrated to everybody. She was the most welcoming player, and that was demonstrated that the team selected her as captain in her senior season. Her contagious smile with her bopping ponytail and big bright bow just set the stage for this spirit that you would see in her.
Blankenship graduated from Gettysburg in 2004 with a degree in Spanish. She received her master's degree in psychology from Washington College in 2008. She spent 17 years as a collegiate women's lacrosse coach, serving the programs at Washington College, Queen's University of Charlotte, and Winthrop University.
We couldn't be more proud to have Jukes as a class of 2023 Hall of Athletic Honor inductee. She represented Gettysburg with such class, such grace, and such spirit, and she is Gettysburg great.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Julika Blankenship.
Oh, my sash. Now that I got my sash on, I'm really ready to rock, so here we go. Good evening. Congratulations to all of the inductees. I'm simply honored and humbled to be here. Thank you to Gettysburg College, the athletic department, the Hall of Fame committee for such an awesome event, and most importantly, the women's lacrosse program and Carol Cantelli. Thank you to my teammates and all of my family for being here this weekend. I'm truly honored and excited just to celebrate a place we love so much. Anyone that knows me in the room and those that don't will learn quickly, I have a very sincere sense of gratitude for lacrosse. The game has given me a lot, and anytime I can preach about it, I will. While all of us in the room are very different, we whether it's a different sport affiliation, we have various reasons we're here, we're from different states, regardless, a myriad of differences. One thing that we have in common is that we are all grateful for a sport for something. Whether sport brought you to Gettysburg College and you're sitting around a table with your best friends in your life, or perhaps, like me, the passion and love for your college experience maybe inspired you to be a college coach for 17 years. Or maybe the life lessons, right, that you learned in sport propel you in your life. And maybe in the business world, some of your strongest lessons are because of sport. Or maybe you coach your fourth grade son's soccer team and seeing his passion for the game is just so valuable. Regardless, we all have gratitude for sport. I'd like to reflect briefly, and remember, we got a time limit, on my gratitude for sport and what Gettysburg College and the people in this room have done for me. My parents. While the obvious gratitude, the obvious moment, and what I should say is, you gave me the opportunity to be here. And yes, you did. However, I'm more thankful for the lessons that you instilled in my brother and I in our earliest ages in competition. You taught us that you would support us in any challenge we took on, as long as we were 100% committed to where our feet were. You also challenged us and pushed us to love whatever game, and nowadays we specialize, but then we didn't, in whatever game we were partaking in. I'm grateful, yes, that you got me here and that you came to every game I ever played in. Thank you so much. My brother, he's sitting over there. Everybody has a role model, someone they strive to be like, someone they just want to be just like. I'm grateful that my role model was good at everything he did. He set the bar high, a Division I athlete. All I wanted to do was be as good of a lacrosse player as Levi. Thank you for setting that bar. To my teammates, the game, lacrosse, literally gave me all of you. Yes, Carol's recruiting, let's say, gave me all of you. They say you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with, correct? However, while I got a really great group of athletes, players, Lord, it was 20 years ago, I got really great people in my circle, and that's way bigger. Every college memory, every moment, every crazy moment, they're a part of, and I love you for that. I'm grateful for that. Yes, the field, practice, games, all of those memories were wonderful, but the ones I remember the most, hate to say it, weren't on the field. Thank you so much for being you and for being such a part of my life. David Oliver, my husband. The love of the game, as you heard them say earlier, I coached lacrosse for 17 years at the college level. The love of the game that was instilled in me at Gettysburg College. Quite literally, traveling on the journey, any coaches in this room, you know it. You chase the dream. It literally led me to him. My greatest accomplishment is my family. I'm also grateful that he's the better coach in our family. Lastly, and likely the largest sense of appreciation I could possibly speak about. Gettysburg Lacrosse, Carol Cantelli, Barb, Mike, Kelly Jones, Jenny Linder, David Wright, holy moly. The leadership and guidance, the way you led, the way this is you. You created such a dynamic for me, for my impressionable teammates. I simply wanted to give to the game what you gave to me. I wanted to empower female athletes. I wanted to create the culture that my best friends over there have for other athletes. This place is the sole reason. I do believe if I hadn't come here, I would not have wanted to be a college coach. And it's because of the leadership of Carol Cantelli and her staff. The lessons you taught me, holy moly. I keep saying holy moly, but I'm being genuine here. So valuable in my life now that I left sports. Lessons that I cannot even begin to speak about, time limit as well, of what you taught me. So thank you so much for your leadership, your guidance, and just the instilling of passion for the game. So, in summary, thank you all in this room that have been a part of my journey. I'm grateful for this place, what it is and what it isn't. And cheers to everyone for a wonderful evening.
Satellite radio wasn't a thing in 1992, but rebounding certainly was. And our next inductee knows a little bit about both. A force on all corners of the basketball court, she still dots the bullet record books in rebounding, free throws, and steals. Let's hear more about Donna Burke and the career that landed her this spot in the Hall of Athletic Honor.
Donna Burke came to Gettysburg College from New York, New York, and wasted no time making the school her home. Remembered fondly by her coach and teammates alike as one of the most intelligent, hardworking, and talented students of her time, it is no surprise that Burke earned her way into the Hall of Athletic Honor.
I think she stood out mainly when watching her. She stood out as that offensive force on the glass. Somebody would miss a shot and she'd knock somebody around or get knocked around and just go up and get it and get putbacks. I always admired the fact that she would be pushing and shoving and people would be pushing and shoving her, and she would just smile. She had this great smile, and she'd smile, get the rebound, put it back in, and not say anything. It was kind of cool to watch, like when she'd smile, it was like, there you go, so there, take that.
Burke emerged as a key player on the Gettysburg women's basketball team her sophomore year, starting all 22 games. She led the team in scoring average with 11.9 points per game and rebounding, averaging 10.2 per game. She also led the team in steals with 54. Her junior year, Burke again led the team in scoring, rebounding, and steals, and was named to the All-MAC Southwest League team. During that season, she set single-season records for steals and offensive rebounds, the latter of which still stands. Burke's senior year saw her again pace the team with career highs in points per game at 17.5 and rebounds per game at 12.6. That season, she reached double digits in points 19 times and grabbed double-figure rebounds 18 times. For her accomplishments, she was again named to the All-MAC Southwest League team and added All-ECAC South Region second team honors.
She was the kind that would never, ever, ever surrender. I mean, you'd want it, Donnie, need a break? No. She didn't want to break. And if you took her out, she would walk, coach, I'm okay, I'm ready. And she would pull the others in and they would follow her and they'd work hard. And it really helped build the foundation for what we became.
Burke's presence is still known on the Gettysburg leaderboards over 30 years since her graduation. Burke remains first place in single-season offensive rebounds with 115. She is second all-time in offensive rebound average and single-season rebounding average, and ranks third for single-season free throws made, offensive rebound average, and defensive rebound average. Also during Burke's final season, she served as team captain alongside teammate Beth Elbin. Elbin shared a few words about her co-captain's role on the team.
When I think of what made Donna Burke special as a basketball player and a person, 3 things stand out: hustle, determination, and toughness. Her hustle was obvious. Everyone in the gym could see her run the floor hard and with speed. She would just race down the lane line for a fast break, feed, and then make the layup. And it takes absolute determination to be a great rebounder. She would just go after the ball and let nothing stand in her way. In terms of toughness, Donna could simply will herself into gutting things out, on the court and in life. And I think that may be her single most impressive trait. She shared her talents and inspired others. She has definitely inspired me. I'm so proud to congratulate my friend on this well-deserved recognition into the Hall of Honor.
Off the court, Burke was an integral member of the college's Intercultural Resource Center, Minority Youth Educational Institute, and Black Student Union. After graduating, she served as a graduate assistant in the Department of Intercultural Advancement for 1 year before obtaining her master's degree in Business Public Administration from Shippensburg University in 1994. Burke currently serves as Director of Enterprise Accounts for SiriusXM after working for Pandora for almost 13 years. She has one daughter, Kayla, who is 24.
Donna Burke deserves to be in the Hall of Athletic Honor because of her endless hard work as a young woman who happened to excel at basketball, and her leadership qualities from Gettysburg College for Gettysburg College. I think that we would all be super proud to be able to say, hey, Gettysburg College and Donna Burke are synonymous with success.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Donna Burke.
Well, good evening, all. So glad my daughter didn't put any makeup on because that would have been drying, like, it would have been everywhere. However, these fake eyelashes she gave me, not part of the speech, but literally if you see me like twitching, it's because the glue is stuck on the top. So I don't even know how Beyonce does it, but you know what? Focus. I want to say thank you, Orange and Blue Club, Gettysburg College, for this amazing recognition. In full transparency, when I first received the phone call from that +717 number, I immediately thought a couple things. First of all, solicitors. I was like, it's been over 30 years, so I know definitely I paid off my college tuition, right? Orange and Blue Club, I paid them, because that was my donation at the beginning of the year. And then the last thing was, you know what? I don't need any new car insurance. I was so happy when I found out that I was being honored into this year's Hall of Athletic Honors. So that was amazing. So I immediately shared this news with my family. The amount of congratulations and virtual high fives was just overwhelming. But my favorite response came from my daughter, Kayla, my love. She said, "Mom, there's no one better than you?" You know, leave it to our kids to really knock us down a couple pegs, right? I also secretly believe that Kayla was getting me back for the several running drills I would make her and her teammates do during practice every single time they missed a free throw, did not get a rebound, and they did not call corner when the ball was going out of bounds. You're welcome, Coach K. Now, I just want you guys to know that the decision to play college basketball at Gettysburg was not taken lightly. As the youngest of 13 children, my parents raised us in an extremely competitive environment. That one common denominator was basketball. My earliest childhood memory was learning to play basketball in the schoolyard at PS 78 in the Bronx. My brothers, Michael, who happens to be here and played Division I basketball, and my brother Christopher allowed myself and my sister Angela the distinguished honor of retrieving the ball every time they took a free throw. While Michael simply wanted to torture his little sisters, I was able to soak in all of the trash talking, I mean knowledge of the sport. Little did I know that the sport of basketball would be instrumental in teaching me the importance of teamwork, leadership, and goal setting. I mean, who doesn't want to win? I know I do, every single day in my life. Being a student athlete at Gettysburg College helped me thrive as a team player and excel as a leader. I look back on my years during college and feel blessed I had the opportunity to play alongside some great student athletes. After all, we all know that there's no I in team. But there is a me, and that's why I'm standing here today, Kayla. All right, enough about me. Thank you to my roommate and co-captain, Beth Elvin. He kills me with that. We've had very meaningful conversations over the years. You inspire me also. My teammate and fellow inductee, Kelly Geis, who reminded me the first time she met me. We were on the field doing drills, because you know Coach K, he loved to run. And Coach must have said, oh, that's Donna. Okay, she reminded me. First of all, I like to put in the work, but let's be honest. Who likes to run, right? I'd rather run on the court. The first time she met me, she said, you were throwing up in the trash bag. I'm like, that sounds pretty accurate, because that's just how I roll. Modern technology, I lost my space, sorry. I'm happy that Miss Leslie's here. That's Beth's mom. She was like my adopted mom. Always took care of me when she bought Beth food. For some reason, there was always extra food for me, which was great. She also introduced this Bronx native to crab cakes at Thanksgiving. I was like, what is that? Who knew? I'm like, it was amazing. So I make sure that I always stop and get some crab cakes whenever I'm in Maryland. My BFF, my ride or die, and fellow Gettysburg alumni, Ramona Mayo, for always having my back and staying up late when I iced my calves after those many drills that Coach made me do. You see there's a pattern here. Coach always made me do a lot of those drills. A special thank you to our coach, Mike Kirkpatrick, which I understand he's came here especially for me now. But I'm happy to see you, Coach, because I know you haven't been back since you retired. I think you need to come out of retirement, just saying. You can teach a lot of things to these young kids. Coach K, I can admit this now. Kayla, stop recording. It wasn't easy coaching me, since, as you do know, I do like to color outside the lines. I tend to challenge decisions when they're made, but you gave me a platform as a player and co-captain to be able to mentor and inspire young players. And you helped me develop my leadership skills. So for that, I thank you. Lastly, I'd like to thank my family. Shout out to table number 2 over there. Woo! And number 8. My family's crazy. Particularly if you have to do a conference call in a jammed up car that's supposed to seat 8 people comfortably, but it was not. And they're all talking while I'm trying to do a conference call. It was the best thing in the world, but I would not have it any other way. I'd like to thank them because you guys inspire me every day, and you also gently push me to always be my true, authentic self. So thank you for that. Lastly, I'm just truly grateful to be a part of the class of 2023 Athletic Hall of Honor. Congratulations to the rest of tonight's inductees. I am so honored to be here tonight, and I'm humbled to be a part of such a distinguished group. Thank you so much.
What do you get when you have a dynamic hitter on the outside and another one on the opposite side? 4 Centennial Conference championships, of course. And it doesn't hurt when you can play a little defense and knock down some aces, too. One of only 2 individuals who can say she earned a Centennial title as a player and then later as a coach. And I'm proud to say I was there to witness both. Let's hear more about why Jessica Cortez is worthy of her spot in the Hall of Athletic Honor.
Jessica Cortez arrived at Gettysburg College in 2001 and became an integral piece of a highly successful Gettysburg volleyball program. She racked up the stats and the awards during her tenure on the team and shaped the future of Gettysburg volleyball on and off the court.
She had a little bit of a fire underneath her. She was a very competitive person who was very, very sly out on the court. She kind of she just found openings. We liked her competitiveness. We liked the way she moved on the court. We liked the way she read things, and she just brought a little bit of fire that I think that our team needed at that time.
Cortez was a key piece in the dominant machine that was Bullets volleyball in the early 2000s. She was a 3-time All-Centennial Conference performer, including 2 first-team selections and Player of the Year honors as a junior in 2003. She was also a 2-time All-Region performer and honorable mention All-American in 2003. A team captain her senior year, she helped the Bullets achieve 4 conference championships and 4 NCAA tournament appearances while posting a 37-3 conference record. Cortez was just the 7th player in program history to join both the 1,000 kills and 1,000 digs club. She still ranks 3rd all-time in Gettysburg history and 5th in Centennial Conference history with 1,605 kills, while her 1,339 digs is still 10th all-time for the Bullets. She also added 211 career aces and 187 total blocks.
She would pass the ball on target all the time. Jess had one of the most beautiful approaches to the ball when she was hitting. I mean, the way she flew through the air was unbelievable, and I think that's a lot of why she was successful too as a hitter. We wanted to really just, get out there and play some competition that was outside of the Pennsylvania region. And I think we held our own. I think that's where we were able to put our name on the map a little bit and people could see us. And Jess helped lead that. She not only became a name within the region, but she became a name within the nation too, and people knew who she was, and that she was going to be one person that you had to stop. They had to try to hold her. And I don't think that they really figured out how to do that.
As a team captain, Cortez was influential not only in her performance on the court, but in her interactions with her teammates.
She had an air about her that people wanted to come to her and talk to her, but she also held people accountable too, because she also knew what we were trying to do as a team and what our culture should be like.
Cortez graduated cum laude with a degree in psychology in 2005. She received her master's degree in educational and sports psychology from Florida State University in 2008. Following her graduation, Cortez served as a collegiate women's volleyball coach at Sewanee, the University of the South, and McDaniel College. Currently, she works in an administrative role at McDaniel College.
Jess Cortez belongs in the Hall of Athletic Honor because she knows how to work hard. She worked hard every day in the gym, in the classroom, didn't matter. She was someone who somebody could look up to and say, I want to be like Jess. You know, she knew how to put Gettysburg on the map. She knew what to do for Gettysburg volleyball. And yeah, I can't imagine somebody else more deserving than Jess.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jess Cortez.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much to this committee for selecting me. This is such an honor. Before I talk, our volleyball team is in the back, and they are, yes. They're doing amazing in the conference this year, and they have a big match tomorrow against Swarthmore. I don't know what a garnet is, but I do know what a bullet is, right? So let's cheer them on tomorrow. When I first got this call and Luke told me that I was in this class, I was really, okay, so my first thought, we're all competitors here. My husband is in his college hall of fame. So I was like, yes, right? Like I can't let him have this bragging right over me, right? But my second thought was, oh my gosh, like I just thought about all the people whose lives intersected with mine because of sports. I felt so grateful. Oh my gosh, you guys, just so thankful that I was included in this group and for all the people that I met. My kids back there. First and foremost, thank you to my family for being here tonight. My husband, Kelly, who I met through coaching, and our wonderful kids, Audrey and Ethan and Hallie. I'm so proud of our family. You guys are so much fun. I'm so happy that you're here tonight. Kelly, thank you so much for being so excited when good things happen. And, you know, we haven't always had good things happen in our family, but when they do, you tell everybody. And that's amazing, and I appreciate that so much, so thank you. So I don't have many good memories of Gettysburg volleyball that don't include my parents. And how lucky am I to be able to say that? My dad was late to one game, and that's because a deer ran full force into the passenger side of his car on the highway, dented it, but he still showed up, right? Thank you so much for sacrificing for years so I could go to Gettysburg. This was my dream, and you made it happen for me. They were the fun fans. They would always be in the stands, and they'd be leading all the cheers. Please do not ask them about this tonight. They probably still remember them and will do them. Some of my favorite memories are spending time with them. After we played, my mom is so kind, and she would tell me how great I did, and my confidence would grow. And then my dad would make some joke about some horrible play I made, and it would go right back down to like an appropriate level. And I just appreciated that so much. Thank you for sharing so many memories with me as a player and as a coach. Thank you for pushing me when I needed it. Thank you for encouraging me when I needed it. Thank you for flying across the country to see me play and being so invested in our program. Thank you for believing in me, because that's the thing that made me be able to believe in myself. My high school friends are here tonight. Thank you so much for being here. They drove from their college to my college to watch our team play. I just feel like that's incredible. You're still my favorite people in the whole world. You just are. And to my teammates, so for anyone who knows volleyball, nothing good happens unless you have good players around you. So you can be really talented, but if no one else can really do that much, then you're still not going to be very good. And I am just so thankful that I had the very best players to play alongside. I had the most amazing setter in Lauren Boyd and the very best serve receive passer in Michelle Dorsch. It was fun to win together. It was terrible when we lost, but we always found humor. Thank you for mentoring us. Thank you for teaching the younger classes who came behind you what our culture was. That meant so much to us. When we were freshmen, we were supposed to go play at Emory in Atlanta. And it was in September, and then September 11th hit. And we knew the world would be different. We didn't know how, but we just knew it. And it was such a challenging time for so many people, but those players took care of me. You know, we went to the beach that weekend, and I was a freshman, and they just let me know that everything was going to be okay. And there are things that I forget about our playing days, but those are the things that I will always remember. So thank you for doing that. To my coach, Kim Kelly, y'all, like, she said nice stuff about me. I thought for sure she was going to make me run here tonight. Thank you for making practice the very best part of my day. Thank you for not crashing our van when he drove the wrong way down a one-way street. And for not having your baby on the volleyball court when you threatened it when you were pregnant that one time and we were losing to Hopkins. Thank you for sharing your family with us. Thank you for joking with us. Thank you for falling off the box during a drill and chipping a tooth, which endlessly entertained us. But seriously, thank you for teaching us the dedication and sacrifice required to win 4 conference championships. That doesn't just happen by chance. You taught us that. And thank you for inspiring so many of us to enter the profession after you. You don't become a coach unless you have an amazing, amazing coach who teaches you so many things that you want to teach the next generation. I think the fact that so many of your players have dedicated their lives to careers in athletics is attributable to you and who you are and what you taught us. Thank you to our favorite staff member, Kelly Jones. Who in this room knows Kelly Jones? Kelly Jones gave us the exact amount of structure and love that we needed. That was something that she was so good at. Kelly, thank you for driving jerseys across state lines when they were forgotten. Thank you for showing up for our team in every possible way that you did. He's not here tonight, but I guarantee he's watching from heaven with his shady drill book out. Thank you to the best assistant coach in Kun Armacost, who passed away a few years ago. When we messed up, he kept it light. He saved all of his yelling for the refs. But he brought so much joy and humor into practices, and that's something that all of us carry with us to this day. I'd like to thank just all the people who work in the athletic department. When you walked into that athletic department every day, it was like cheers. Everybody knew who you were, and I just thought that that was incredible. Like Joe Denali taped my random strained ab every preseason. He made life so much fun. Leah, the head volleyball coach right now, she's someone who I spent years coaching against, and on that day we were frenemies, but every other day, like, she was someone in the coaching profession who I knew I could trust and I respected, and I loved that. Someone else who was really special to me was, so my freshman year, I had a psych class, intro to psych, and I walked in and I was just, kind of like an introvert, so I sat in the back. But my professor knew who I was and knew my stats, and I thought, well, this is like really nice that the professors know who you are and they know your athletic abilities. And then later she asked me to do research with her, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. And then later she became president of Gettysburg College, Janet Riggs. I thought, oh my gosh, like what a special place where The professors and the people who run this institution care so much about athletics that it's such a special thing. I can't even tell you how special that is to me. Corey Jewett is here tonight. He's my Gettysburg nemesis. But just the most special people work here, and I love coming home. To my friends from Westminster who are here tonight, you have walked with me through all the hard times. You drink wine with me in the good times. I'm so thankful to have you. You are the very best of friends. I have worked at athletic departments up and down the East Coast, but coming to Gettysburg feels like home. It's not the buildings, but it's the people who work here. Thank you so much for creating that feeling and allowing all of us to feel like we're coming home. I read somewhere that the measure of a good life isn't telling people what to do or how to live, but it's just showing up in their stories. So thank you to everyone here tonight for showing up in my story. I love you.
Some might call Syracuse, New York, the grand poobah when it comes to lacrosse recruiting. A tough nut to crack, but once you're in, you're in. Our next inductee cracked that recruiting nut open for Coach Jancic, and the fruit was well worth it. 121 goals, 128 assists, 249 points, 4 conference titles. Let's hear exactly why Tim DeMoore takes his spot in the Hall of Athletic Honor tonight.
Tim DeMoore joined the Gettysburg men's lacrosse program in 1991 from near Syracuse, New York. He became a key part of the team's success during his time, and his legacy has lasted the almost 30 years since his graduation. One of the top attackmen in the history of Gettysburg men's lacrosse, he still holds 2 of the top spots on the program leaderboards.
So we recruited Timmy from West Genesee High School. I think he probably had the finest high school coach, certainly one of the finest ever. And Tim was a good athlete, but a great stick handler. You know, I think his stick handling ability, being something he didn't have to think about. He could see the field. He could think about his next move. He could see what's going on, who to pass it to. Simply because he never got the ball taken away very much. His knowledge of the game, his feel for the game was probably ahead of the game, in my opinion, and I think that's what made him the player that he was. It was really a great day for me and for the program when the day he called me and said he was coming to Gettysburg.
Over his 4 years, DeMoore set the program records for career points with 249 and assists with 128. His single-season point total of 93 his junior year was also a new high for the program. All 3 of these records still stand 28 years later. DeMoore was a 2-time first-team All-Centennial Conference selection and a 2-time second-team All-American honoree. A team captain his senior year, he led the Bullets to 4 conference titles and 4 NCAA tournament appearances. To this day, he is the only player to record 13 points in a single game, which he did twice during his career.
You know, I think Tim was his own man, was fun-loving. I think in the locker room, he could be a lot of fun and loosen things up a little bit. At the same time, when practice came around, he was really serious, wanted to get it done for 2 hours. And I think he helped us get the most out of our players. He wasn't afraid to say what he felt, and I really thought that was awesome. And 9 out of 10 times he was on the money. I know he wanted to be successful. I think he was an asset, almost an extension of the coaching staff in where we were going and what we wanted to do.
In 1994, DeMoore helped the men's lacrosse team reach new heights in the NCAA playoffs, making it to the semifinal round for the first time.
We beat Denison in 3 overtimes. And it got us to the second round of the NCAAs. Timmy scored the winning goal, but the funny thing about it was he scored the winning goal, and he knew everyone was going to go nuts, so he took off. Not even near the field. He just kept running, you know. Finally, everybody caught him. It was a great, great win. It was a really big deal to us, and Timmy was a huge part of that.
DeMoore graduated from Gettysburg College in 1995 with a degree in political science. He then went on to Syracuse University College of Law, graduating in 1999. Today, DeMoore is a successful personal injury attorney and is the owner of DeMoore Law Firm, PLLC, in Syracuse, New York.
Timmy DeMoore deserves to be in the Hall of Fame at Gettysburg College because he had a stellar career. He is a great student. He represented our program very well. And he's definitely the kind of person, the kind of friend, the kind of leader, the kind of teammate that we aspired to have at Gettysburg, and he was at the top.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tim DeMoore.
Good evening. First, like the other recipients, I'd like to thank the Orange and Blue Club and the nominating committee for nominating me. This is a tremendous honor. I'm truly humbled and honored because I love Gettysburg. I love all things Gettysburg. I love my teammates, the coaches, and all the students that were here. When I graduated from high school as coach, Janzik indicated in the video, I played for a Hall of Fame high school coach, a high school called West Genesee, where we were #1 in the country my junior and senior year. And many players on my team went Division I, and I had some opportunities and looked at some Division I schools, but my parents said to me, what I want you to do is when you go look at a college, figure out where you feel most comfortable. Figure out if you blow out your knee on the first day of school, where you're going to stay and what kind of people you want to be around. Well, I came down to Gettysburg in February of my senior year, and when I left Syracuse, it was 20 degrees, blowing, snowing like you wouldn't believe, and it was one of those random days here in Gettysburg where like today, there was no clouds in the sky, it was beautiful, it was 55 degrees, and I was like, yep, this is where I'm comfortable. So, I knew that this was the right place for me. And I've made lifelong friends here, and I'm eternally grateful for that. I've got a lot of people to thank, but I'm going to be brief. The first two people are my parents. I would give anything for them to have been here tonight. Both my parents love Gettysburg. They love my friends, my teammates, the coaches, and the other parents on the team. They became part of the fabric of Gettysburg lacrosse. They travel up and down the East Coast, and my junior and senior year, they didn't miss a game. And that seems to be a theme here tonight. I heard from my other inductees that their parents went to games, and it makes a big difference. And I miss my parents tremendously. My father passed away suddenly in 2009. And they were great parents. They were great grandparents to my children, and they would have been very proud tonight. They were proud of all things Gettysburg, and I know everyone, my teammates who remember them, miss them as much as we do. Speaking of my teammates, I'd like to thank them as well, especially the guys who made it down here tonight, Kevin Cordell, Glenn Mulligan, Brian McGurn, Noah Davis, and his father, Judd. And in particular, there's one guy I want to thank for coming here tonight. He was a junior when I was a freshman, and his name is Sandy Cook. Sandy's in the back of the room there, and this is a quick story that Sandy has been looking for credit for since 1992. 1992 was my freshman year on this team, and we were about 5 or 6 games into the year, and we were playing Widener College, and they just weren't very good. And I was not starting on the team at that point. I was still trying to work my way up, and we were up by 20-some-odd goals with 4 minutes to go, and Coach Janzik calls a timeout and says, look, we're up 20, no more shooting. Nobody shoot. That's it. Just pass it around. Let's win with some class. Well, Sandy Cook turns to me and says, Tim, you do realize that you have 6 goals, 6 assists right now. If you have one more point, you set a school record. I said, Sandy, I can't shoot. I'll never get on the field again. Coach would kill me. He goes, no problem. Just feed me. I'll take care of the rest. Sure enough, next possession down, I hit Cooker on the crease. He stuffs it in the goal. I get an assist by that, so therefore I own the school record. Cooker's getting screamed at by Coach Janzik to come off of. And he turns to me and he says, you better mention me in the interview when you get interviewed by the paper. So Cooker. I'm not sure if I actually got interviewed, but here's your time in the limelight, buddy. The next person I want to thank, obviously, is Coach Janzik. Coach Janzik is old school, and I use that term in the most respectful manner possible. He was more interested in raising respectful young men who did the right thing when no one was watching, as opposed to winning a game or getting a goal or an assist. He held us all accountable at a time when we all thought we knew everything there was to know. Coach Janzik is a man of character and integrity, and I'm proud to have played for him. It should be noted that he himself, who's already been inducted in the Hobart Hall of Fame and another Hall of Fame, is now going to be in the National Lacrosse Coaches Hall of Fame in Florida down in December, and I plan to be there to support him for that. I was really lucky to have played for Coach. And I want to give one example. One of the pictures that came up here was a picture of me with a terrible haircut, and Coach Janzik and his wife, Cindy. In 2019, I had a tremendous health scare. I had an aortic aneurysm, and I had to go to the Cleveland Clinic to get open heart surgery. Obviously, I was terrified, wasn't sure what was going to happen, and Coach Janzik heard about it and called me and talked to me before I left for Cleveland. And not only did he call me, but he got word out to the team, and I would say over 70 guys, people who played 20 years after me to people who played 10 years before me, calling me and wishing me luck. Well, that surgery was in May of 2019, and July of 2019, Coach Janzik called again to check in on me, and he said, look, Cindy and I, coaches from Rochester, and he said, we have relatives, or he has relatives he's going to visit in Rochester. He'd like to come up to Syracuse on the way, stop and sit and talk with me for a little bit. So, great. So Coach came up, met my family, and he and Cindy sat with me for 3 hours. And I was on some pretty heavy medication and whatnot. And he sat there, and we talked, and we laughed. The laughing part kind of hurt, but it was great. This was 24 years after I last played for him. That shows you the type of man that Coach Janzik is. And Coach, I just wanted to thank you for everything you've done for me, for all the guys who played for you. We are better men, husbands, fathers, and friends because of you. Finally, I'd like to thank my family. My sister Sarah is sitting with us tonight. She flew in from San Francisco. And Sarah, I truly appreciate that. My wife Maggie and my 4 great children. Maggie and I are proud of each of them. Claire, our oldest, is a junior at Colgate University, and she couldn't be here tonight because she's doing something I've never done, and that's studying on a Friday night for an exam on a Monday. And that's true. My son Charlie's here. He's a senior in high school, 3-sport athlete. Teddy, he plays lacrosse and golf for his high school team. Still can't beat me in golf, but that's okay. And then Lucy, our youngest, is a freshman in high school. And she's 5'10" and a fantastic volleyball player, so the volleyball team better watch out. Lastly, I want to thank my wife, who is the leader of our family, Her unwavering loyalty and devotion to the kids is second to none. Mags, I know that I haven't always been the easiest person to get along with, but I want to publicly acknowledge your selflessness, and it does not go unnoticed or unappreciated. We've been married for 21 years, been through a lot, and I want you to know that although I can be a pain, I appreciate everything you do for me and the kids. Thank you, everyone. This is a tremendous honor, and go Bullets.
Our next inductee skied to new heights for the Gettysburg track and field team. But it wasn't just his pole vaulting ability that made and continues to make him special. Through the mentorship of Lefty Beiser, Dr. Stephen Jergel went on to a career in athletic training and now into full-time ministry. Let's hear more about why he is deserving of this spot in the Hall of Athletic Honor.
Steve Jergel was a key member of the Gettysburg track and field team during his tenure at the college, soaring higher than nearly every other pole vaulter during his time and since his graduation. He made an impact both on the track and in his extracurriculars, showing what it means to be Gettysburg great.
Well, Steve Jergel was a good student. He was a very competitive athlete, but beyond that, he had what I would call a real search for knowledge and truth. He had an impeccable personality. He was always upstanding and upright with me, and we spent a lot of time together his 4 years here. He was a very, very competent and able person to lead us in many ways, and I think he was a very good representative for the college, not only in character but in athletics.
Jergel was a 4-time Middle Atlantic Conference pole vault champion. In 1978, during his sophomore season, he earned All-American honors by finishing 5th at the NCAA Division III Championships. His height of 15.0 stood as the program record for 10 years, while his indoor record of 14.6 was held until 2003. More than 40 years later, Jergel's indoor and outdoor bests still rank second in program history. Jergel was a 4-time national qualifier and a 3-time champion at the Mason-Dixon Relays, and he was named to the MAC All-Century team.
He was a leader of that group. I think he held them together in many ways. That was a good track team in those days, and they had some good athletes and some good leadership qualities. But Steve seemed to be a leader among that group because I think he was outgoing and he presented himself well, and he was very well respected by other members of the track team because he worked really hard and he excelled at what he did. He was a good motivator. He motivated other people around him to do very well. And I think that was one of his greatest assets, that he motivated people to work when they were out of season, work in difficult situations. His personality was one that was infectious upon other people, I think.
Outside of track and field, Jergel was a dedicated member and leader of Gettysburg's branch of Fellowship of Christian Athletes and worked in the athletic training room.
He was an advisor of mine, but he was also a student of mine. He worked for me also in the training room off and on while he was at Gettysburg. He also was a very, very reliable member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. This last year he was a senior. He was the president of that group and ran an extremely good meeting. Many times we'd have up to 125 to 130 people come to our meetings, and Steve was the leader of that. He had a way of attracting people to his way of understanding, his way of leadership.
Former Gettysburg head men's track and field coach Jim Wright also shared a few words about Jergel. Wright coached Jergel during his junior and senior years. A leader in many ways, he often led the team in prayer before meets, then led them in competition, dominating the MAC pole vault through his career. Steve was, in effect, a player coach, performing his event at a consistent level of excellence while guiding and teaching his vault teammates how to grow and improve. Affectionately known as Sky King to his teammates and friends, he embodied the positive competitive spirit of the record-setting teams of his generation. As the ultimate team member in a sport marked by individualism, he also ran many middle-distance races and relays in his last years to aid a team that had dwindled in competitors. I will always remember him as a model of excellence and enthusiasm, and as a moral North Star for our teams. Jurgel graduated from Gettysburg in 1980 with a degree in health and physical education. He holds master's degrees in health education, sports medicine, and divinity, as well as a doctorate in ministry. Jurgel has served as the senior pastor at Lakeview Baptist Church in Monroe, North Carolina, and is the founder and director of the Jurgel Leadership Institute, which strives to equip people for success in leadership roles. Jurgel and his wife Pam have 3 children, Joshua, Caleb, and Sarah.
I think he highly deserves this honor. I think it's been a long time overdue for him. I think he's an athlete who deserves to be in the Hall of Honor because of his leadership qualities and because of his athletic skill. His perseverance to continue to work hard. He was a guy who never quit. He always worked, no matter what the circumstances were. He was always active, working, and trying to improve himself, trying to improve those around him.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Steve Jurgel.
Well, good evening. Okay, there's no response. It's a good evening for me anyway. It's good to see you here tonight, and I am humbled and honored by both the Orange and Blue and Gettysburg College. This is a place that's so easy to love and so easy to compete for and so easy to make home. You don't know this, and it's not well known, but I am also the unofficial record holder for the quarter mile on our track here. It's unofficial because I did it with a car. And Bob Long timed me. I did it in 36 seconds, came around the final, turned sideways, and almost wiped out a row of hurdles. And you can do stuff like that when you're on cinders. Well, you don't have to be crazy to be a pole vaulter, but it'll really help you. Because who else would take a stick that bends and sometimes breaks, goes about 440 yards away, runs as fast as he can, puts it in a hole in the ground, it bends all the way that it can bend, shoots you upward, and you turn around and land on your back. You got to be crazy to do that. And what a great sport and what a great opportunity. Well, along with being a pastor, I'm the founder and director of the Jurgel Leadership Institute, and Jim Martino and Bob Long serve on our advisory team there. And one of the adages we have in the Jurgel Leadership Institute is this: you become what you surround yourself with. You become what you surround yourself with. And I'm so thankful that God has seen fit to surround me with such great people my entire life. I've got a fantastic wife of 35 years. Pam is here. And we've been through more things than you can imagine, but we've seen so many blessings. And our son Joshua's here. He's a strength coach for Duke University. Okay, nobody's a fan, but I'm a fan of yours. And he's with us, and we're so proud of our other 2 children. And my brother Casey's with me. Casey lives in New York, and we had the privilege of growing up together, though my wife would question whether or not I've grown up most of the time. But Casey's we've been on the track team together growing up and just had so many experiences. And then when I showed up at Gettysburg College, I was just a knucklehead freshman. I didn't know whether to whistle or wind my watch. I had no idea what was going on, but I get recruited by Barry Streeter and Jim Wright, and undoubtedly they went over and did some fast talking over at admissions, and I was brought onto campus, and got under their influence immediately. And then I meet Lefty Beiser. And I don't know if you know Lefty and Shirley, but I think that if you don't love Lefty and Shirley, you're probably not going to go to heaven. I think that's in the Bible somewhere. Read the whole thing; it'll do you good. And Lefty was not only an influence on my life, but he was my academic advisor. And then he went on to be the faculty advisor for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, which Bill Geating was instrumental in starting here on campus, and then really was a father figure for me away from home. But I had coaches, and I had teachers, and I had people around me that were such a great influence on my life. And what a team. What a team. It was just a wonderful time of teamwork and working hard and developing and pushing each other and just trying to make each other better and better and better. And it was a wonderful time. And through track and field, we got to travel everywhere from Illinois to New York and Michigan to Florida and everywhere in between. Later on, I got to represent the United States on the U.S. track team, and just wonderful experiences that track has blessed me with. And all these teammates are here. A whole bunch. Guys, raise your hand. Teammates, raise your hand. Yeah, that's this. Okay. Great guys. Just phenomenal personalities, men of character. Another adage we have in the Durga leadership is this. Now pay attention because I may lose you on this, okay? But I adopted this early, even though I couldn't inculcate it the way I do now. But it goes this way. When your want to becomes your got to, then your possibly becomes your probably. And when your probably becomes reality, then your got to becomes your get to. And all the people who have come up and spoken before, they've lived that out, even though they may not realize that. Because you've got to get from a point where it's just a want to, where something would be nice if it happened. If I lose some weight, or if I get a degree, or if I run in an event, that would be nice. You got to get past that. And it has to go from a want to a got to, that I've got to do this. I've got to lose weight. I've got to make some money. I've got to compete. I've got to get up early. I've got to study hard. And that got to, there's no guarantees, but it changes the possibly to a probably. And when that probably becomes reality, then your got to becomes a get to. Amen? And if you develop that thought process, maybe not in those words, and you wind up here, this is what you get to from all the things you decided that you got to. And so I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for so much in my life. I've been blessed beyond measure. And if you spend time with me anytime at all, you'll understand why I'm so thankful and so grateful for the blessings that God has brought my way. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your time and attention. God bless you, and go Bullets.
For a 4-year stretch in the late 90s, few could match the offensive prowess that Gettysburg men's soccer put on the pitch. Our final inductee this evening was among 4 straight Centennial Conference Players of the Year, the third of those to be enshrined in this hall. The record-setting goal scorer as a junior, then the record-setting distributor as a senior. Let's hear more about why Jason Vicio claims his rightful spot in the Hall of Athletic Honor.
Jason Vicio was a force in a dominant Gettysburg men's soccer offense in the late 1990s. From the time he stepped onto the soccer pitch to a breakout campaign his junior year and beyond, Vicio's presence was known on the field to his coaches, competitors, and the country.
Well, Jason's greatest gift on the soccer field was his speed. He had exceptional quickness, and it wasn't just in short bursts, but actually over long periods or long distances. Jason was exceptional when it came to his speed. He also could change direction very quickly, So just his overall athleticism was pretty tremendous attribute for him. You know, he worked at the craft. It wasn't that he was an all-American player by accident. You know, he really put the time and effort into it and was a great example for the other players in the program. It was a great blessing for me and our program to have Jason join the Bullets back in the mid-1990s.
Vicio had a record-breaking year in 1998 during his junior season, setting new program marks that still stand today. He set the program record for goals with 23 and points with 55. That year, he earned first-team All-Centennial Conference honors, was named to the All-Region team, and was tabbed the conference's Player of the Year. To add to his accolades, Vicio became just the 4th All-American in the history of the program, earning first-team honors. During his senior season, he served as team captain and continued his record-breaking ways, dishing out a still-standing record of 18 assists. He was also named first-team All-Centennial and All-Region for the second straight year. That year, he led the team to the Centennial Conference Trophy and their third straight NCAA tournament appearance. Vicio finished his senior campaign as the NCAA Division III leader in assists per game with just under 1 per contest. To this day, Vicio remains in the top 3 in Gettysburg men's soccer program history for career goals, assists, and points.
The thing I remember and recall is he would stay after practice and work on striking the ball. Watching him, that also was very impactful for his teammates and our program to actually watch him try to become a stronger and stronger player was a lot of fun for me and his teammates. You know, leaders are all about having influence on others, having an impact on the program, and Jason clearly did that and then some. But it was really in the work ethic. You know, he just showed tremendous leadership.
Vicio graduated from Gettysburg with a degree in management in 2000. After graduation, he continued his soccer career in the USL A-League, playing for the Hershey Wildcats, and in the MLS for the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars. He went on to Villanova School of Law, where he graduated magna cum laude. Today, Vicio is a successful insurance claim attorney in Naples, Florida, where he is an equity partner of the firm Vicio Watkins Forey. He is married to his wife, Nicole, who is also a Gettysburg College Class of 2000 graduate.
Jason Vicio deserves to be a member of the Gettysburg College Hall of Athletic Honor because he not only worked to make himself better, but he transformed himself to make others better. And in the process of doing that, he lifted the entire men's soccer program to the national level. And for that, he deserves to be a member of the Gettysburg College Hall of Athletic Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Vicio.
All right, let's hope technology doesn't fail me. I have about 2% left on my battery and my whole speech is on my phone, so. All right, and also thank you to whoever let Coach not put Steely Dan as a backdrop to his intro. So the first time I ever truly thanked God for anything in my life was on a soccer field. It was the end of my last game playing for Gettysburg College. I don't believe it was a coincidence that it took place on the soccer field of Messiah College, as we were heartbreakingly just eliminated from the NCAA playoffs. So I figured it best to open with this quote from Paul. Stephen, if I misuse it, I apologize. It seemed apropos. So, for what makes you different than anyone else? What do you have that you did not receive? 1 Corinthians 4:7. On a lighter note, when my kids first saw the pictures that were going to be displayed here tonight, they go, "Dad, that looks like you, but that guy's in shape." Humbled, said the lawyer. My son also, he wanted me to share this story with you, so I will. This morning he woke up and he was all excited and bright-eyed and said, "Dad, is tonight the night you're getting elected?" And I said, "No, Brody, tonight's the night I'm getting inducted." And he said, "Good, because I really want to play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the lobby." So he was... It's nice to gain this kind of recognition from the college, but as many have said before me, including the great Lionel Messi, who I've had the privilege to watch play on American soil lately, and also the great Chris Pryor, class of 2000, soccer truly is a team sport. And the Gettysburg men's teams from 97 to 2000 were exemplary. Many of the players who were part of those teams turned down multiple Division I scholarships to be here. What that says about our college, our soccer program, I think Coach Wright and his family demonstrates how special a place this was, and I believe it continues to be, under the leadership of President Iliano and his team. Student athletes, us formerly, they were all willing to forego playing at the D level to attend what was back then about a 2,100 student school, small liberal arts college located on a battlefield in beautiful Northern Virginia. Yes, it's beautiful this time of year. Get that all the time. I was willing to do it. Chris Pryor was willing to do it. John Katurba, many of these guys are here tonight. Josh Rubinek, Aaron Jolin, Greg Stevzik. They were all willing to do it, and the list goes on and on. And for all of us, that risk paid off. In my 4 years, we went 61, 13, and 6, with a lot of those losses coming freshman year. In 97, we finished ranked 5th nationally, 98, 18th, and 99, we finished 9th. We played in 3 straight NCAA tournaments from my sophomore to my senior year. In 1997, we were the Mid-Atlantic Regional Champions. 98, we were the Centennial Conference Champions. Unlike my wife, I don't have 4 Centennial Conference championship plaques. I only have 1. I think but for a few minor injuries and one very ill-timed comment to a referee, we could have been national champions. Everyone at that table knows who I'm talking about. So without me saying anything more about it than this, the record of the men's soccer program between the years 97 and 2000, I think makes it worth considering one of those teams for induction into this hall. Because again, soccer truly is a team sport. My team, as everyone's up here tonight, consisted of more than just players. I was blessed during my playing years to have been surrounded by numerous people who made my success possible. Without them, I would not be here. While there are too many people to name and thank yous have already been said, I would like to humbly try and say the following quick thank yous. Coach Dave and Cindy Wright, I'm going to keep it simple because I'm not going to cry. You guys are always going to be my second family, and we love you. Our whole family loves you. I said I wasn't going to cry. To my wife, Nicole, the compassionate little blonde-haired swimmer I met junior year when 2 of our friends decided, in fact, insisted, at 10 o'clock at night before a big soccer game, we had to meet. And from the moment I met you, I loved you. And even when you turned me down going surfing. We've been together 25 years. And we have 2 great kids. To my parents, thank you for sacrificing so much to take me to soccer in the cold, the rain, the summer heat, and a hurricane one year in Annapolis. For never missing a college game, and most of all, thank you for being a good example of an active, healthy lifestyle. I spent more time skiing with my mom, riding trails with my dad, in the hospital with my dad, mostly from riding trails, than most people spend with their friends in high school. So I love you guys both. To my boys, Brecken and Brody, I'm going to keep it simple. I pray that I can be as good of a role model to you as my parents were to me and as Mormor and Ra were to Mommy. To all my friends who made the trip here tonight, life's busy. I said this to a bunch of you. I'm so thankful you guys came. I know it's hard to make the time, and it means a lot to me. I also thank you for the numerous wonderful experiences we shared, some of which I'm barred from ever sharing with my children. And to the Gettysburg College staff, professors, administrators, etc., I can't tell you how important it was for me to be welcomed into this community so graciously. Freshman year was a really hard year for me on a number of levels personally. I lost some friends, some bad things happened, and it was your friendship, your compassion, and understanding that made Gettysburg quickly feel like my home. So I thank you for that. This is kind of my cheesy closing line, but I came up with it, so I'm going to say it. Overall, it's very nice to be a small part of a college that's such a large part of who I am today. So I thank you.
Good evening. My name is Nicholas Poehler. I'm the director of the Orange and Blue Club here at Gettysburg College. On behalf of myself and Rich Sadlock, the chair of our Orange and Blue Advisory Council, we would like to again thank you for joining us. And as per our tradition, we would like to welcome you, or I'd like to ask you to join us in singing of our alma mater from a very talented senior, Erica Messinger.
Softly the evening shadows are veiling the campus stars. We come a band of good fellows to sing in the twilight hours. The silvery moonlight mantles the worn walls of chapel anew. The wind in the trees sweetly echoes our praises of orange and blue. Whenever thy loyal ones gather to wake in fond memory